With a lot of reaction to last night's debate between President Biden and former President Donald Trump.
All right, what happens now? Both sides of the aisle saying it was a rough night for President Biden. When his own party says it, you know there's trouble ahead. Briella Tomasetti has more from the West Village, where the president is scheduled to make an appearance later. Hello, Briella.
Hi, Rosanna and Kurt. Good morning to both of you. Yeah, no matter what your reaction may be, this debate was historic because it's the first matchup between a sitting president and a former one. But yeah, after President Biden's shaky performance, many Americans are concerned that he may be too old to serve as president, and Democrats are growing more worried that Trump could make a return to the White House, even though he's a convicted felon.
Please welcome the 46th President of the United States, Joe Biden. And please welcome the 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump.
At the start of the first presidential debate in Atlanta, Georgia, President Biden and former President Trump passed up on a handshake and got straight to some of the night's most contentious topics. Inflation and the economy among voters' top concerns.
We got to take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me. We had an economy that was in free fall.
We had the greatest economy in the history of our country.
It was much different than the last time the two presidential candidates faced off 4 years ago. There were no interruptions because one man's microphone was muted while the other spoke, no opening statements, and no live studio audience.
What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Once again, he's exaggerating, he's lying.
But some things didn't quite come as a surprise, as the presidential hopefuls sparred about hot-button issues like abortion, immigration, and foreign policy. Biden spoke softly with a raspy voice, his campaign saying he had a cold. The 81-year-old president also seemed to get tongue-tied and lose his train of thought.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Meanwhile, the 78-year-old Trump appeared to downplay his role in the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, even changing the subject when he was first asked about it.
And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent.
Later on in the 90-minute debate, Biden called Trump a convicted felon. Last month, a Manhattan jury found the former president guilty on all 34 counts of concealing business records to hide hush money payments.
How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star?
Trump brushed off Biden's remarks and then went after the current commander-in-chief's son, Hunter, who was convicted this month of falsely claiming to be drug-free when applying to buy a handgun 6 years ago.
When he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level.
Today, President Biden and the First Lady will be joined by Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand at the Stonewall National Monument Visitor Center right behind me, here to mark the end of Pride Month in New York City. Trump, in the meantime, will be in Chesapeake, Virginia for a campaign event. For now, we're live here in the West Village. Rosanna and Kurt, back to you.